You know, I recently read a statistic that says 60% of millennials and Gen Z feel guilty if they're not working and they're resting. And it just proves we live in a hustle culture. We treat burnout as if it's a badge of honor. And in the midst of all of this, the King of Kings comes to us and tells us that this isn't a hustle culture, this is an heir culture. One time I was at a pastor's lunch, and as at this pastor's luncheon, I was a young campus pastor. I was young in age, young in ministry. I did not have the money. I wasn't getting a salary. I was raising my own funds. And all these pastors were in three-piece suits with big churches and big titles. And I've got this little campus group. I've got some beat up jeans, some beat up Air Force Ones, and a beat up t-shirt. And I remember just feeling like I wasn't seen. I remember feeling so unknown. And in the midst of it, it's like the truth dawned on me that when heaven knows your name, you don't need the room to. In Luke, right smack in the middle of the River Jordan, before Jesus had ever performed a miracle, before he ever cast out a devil, before he ever multiplied the fish and loaves, the Father spoke over him, "This is my Son in whom I am well pleased," which just goes to prove, number one, affirmation before assignment, and number two, identity isn't earned, it is inherited. And this is important. Why? Because the opposite of that is I'm affirmed by how much I can work. That is an orphan spirit. And an orphan spirit is restless. An orphan spirit literally pines away and is addicted to visibility. An orphan spirit builds image, but never goes on to build identity. An orphan spirit gets dressed in designer insecurity and calls it purpose, and it's all wrong. The king comes and flips it on its ear because you don't need a blue check if you have a blood stamp. The room will never be enough if you don't understand that Jordan has already settled the issue, that you've had your Jordan experience where the Father's spoken over you. This is my son and daughter whom I am well pleased. So here's what I say right now. The room will never be enough if you don't understand what God has already done is enough. So let the world sleep on you. Heaven has written your name down in the Lamb's book of life. You're known in that book. And when heaven knows your name, the room becomes optional and the mission becomes unstoppable.